Most women don't feel disconnected from themselves and from their bodies because that there's something wrong with them, because they're broken. It's actually because they've stopped listening to their bodies. They've stopped listening to themselves. They've stopped that connection piece from their mind, and they're living shoulders up instead of living in their full bodies. So today we are covering 5 ways to embody your wild. Welcome to Embody Your Wild. I'm your host, Carolyn LaFortune, and I'm an embodiment guide. I'm a mother of 2. I'm a studio owner of Embody Pole in Ottawa, and I'm here to have real conversations about how to tap into your wildness or erotic power, into your aliveness. Let's fucking go. Number 1 is connection to self. What does it even mean to be connected to your body, to be connected to your womb, to your pussy, to your gut, to your mind, to your heart? This is an all-encompassing feeling and taking in sensations from all over the body instead of just connecting to what your thoughts are saying about everything else. This is bringing awareness to the felt senses. So like I mentioned in a previous episode, this is about living life through our senses, indulging in what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what makes us want to feel the sensation a little bit more or maybe pull back, what makes us contract into the body, what makes us expand and open and relax. So these are the things that we want to notice about ourselves when we talk about embodiment, when we talk about embodying our wilds, and there's this connection to our bodies. This is also honoring your boundaries, knowing what a full body yes and a full body no feels like in the body. So if somebody asks us a question, do we tend to shrink in and contract, or do we feel a little bit more open and expanded? And you can try this yourself with an exercise by just closing down your eyes and asking yourself a yes or no question and just really feeling into, okay, what do I notice about my body? It could even be something as simple as, is my name Carolyn? And then we notice the contraction or the expansion. Or it could be, do I want to go for a run today? For me right now, my body just went, ugh. So I'm like, I'm not a runner. But do I want to pole dance today? Now there was a little bit more of like a shimmering and an expansion happening there, a turn on. So these are the things and the subtle sensations that we need to listen to when we are connecting to our bodies. Discovering your desires. When we think of desires, oftentimes this goes straight to sexual desires, but this could be anything in life. This could be, I desire to just be wrapped in a warm blanket right now, or even better, in a heated blanket right now. Or I desire to start a podcast. I desire to play music today. Whatever your desires are, this is us noticing the sensations in the body and moving from there. Do we feel like this is a turn on for us? Do we feel like maybe this is pushing an edge for us? Do we feel like maybe it's like, this is a goal of mine, but this is not a desire? And that's where these two differentiate from each other, because a goal is something that is more of in that masculine energy. This needs to be done. It's almost like a chore where you're doing chores, you're not necessarily feeling pleasure in the chore. You're doing you're accomplishing a goal. This might be, maybe the goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds, let's say. But then when we come into the desire of that, what is the desire behind the losing 10 pounds? It's because, maybe I want to feel more connected to my body like I used to. I want to be able to fit into my favorite jeans that I wasn't able to fit into before. Maybe I want to, I don't know, maybe something else that could feel good. So we see where the desire is and versus the goal. So this is where that connection to self is really important to listen to, because that is going to be the difference between the goal and the desire. When we really feel into the goal, we're like, okay, I have to get this done. I have to go to the gym. lift all these weights, whatever, eat better. But then if I have the desire, I'm like, oh, I really want to move my body from a place of pleasure and I want to feel strong and I can't wait to lift heavy weights because it makes me feel such a badass. And I can't wait to eat all these foods and indulge in the sensations of the deliciousness of good food and how it makes me feel afterwards. So this is where we can start to feel the difference. This also translates sexually because now once we have a desire or there's a goal, maybe there's the goal to achieve orgasm, but then what's underneath all that? Why do you want an orgasm? Is it just to feel good? But then you can't force yourself into feeling good. You have to have that desire to open and release and relax into it. And then will come the orgasm. But if you're just like, I'm just going to do it and force it, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. This is also letting yourself want more without guilt. Because maybe we've been conditioned where you see somebody have these things and you're like, oh, I could never have that. Or someone is doing something that you want to be doing and you're like, oh, I could never do that. And this is giving yourself the permission to be able to have that desire and knowing that you can also get this without feeling guilty. You are worthy and you deserve to reach for what you want. And this is not coming from a place of, I'm going to take this from somebody else, but this is coming from a place of, I can do this too. I can step into my power. I can ignore all the noise around me telling me that I can't do this. And I can step into this new person or new position of just, who do I want to become and how do I want to feel towards this desire? Spending time alone with no distractions, no phones, no nothing, no music even, just yourself. How does it feel to just be with yourself? This could be going for a walk in nature. Could be bringing your dog out to the dog park. It could be just connecting. Maybe you're going swimming somewhere in a lake. The aspect of just being alone is coming back to our wildness. Because I used to be very afraid of being alone when I was younger. I would always surround myself with tons of people. If there was one night that I had zero plans, I would call some people up and be like, hey, let's go out, let's do something. And it's only been, I guess I'd say in the last 10 years or so that I've learned to really be okay with being alone. And this took some time. Like my husband used to travel a lot for work. And so that kind of forced me to be by myself at home and not call people because then I lived a little bit further. I wasn't right downtown. I was able to learn to just be by myself. And what I've noticed shift inside of me is when I was alone previously, I'd always be anxious. I'd always have that like feeling of I need to just do something. I need to keep myself busy. And now I'm like, give me all of the alone time. I will take it all, especially now as a mom of 2 kids. The house is never silent. That time alone is really precious now, and I feel like I can actually connect to myself. I can listen to my body even more. I can feel myself breathe. Sometimes I can just even stop and feel my heartbeat. And just that alone is a great way to ground yourself and regulate and relax. Number 2, nourish your body. First off, doing movement that feels good to you. Pole dancing and sensual movement. Now we're getting out of the linear movement into the very much moving forward and back. Maybe there's some twisting, maybe there's some, up, down, side to side kind of thing, into the waves, into the circles. And the reason I bring this up is because when we are regularly lifting weights or doing yoga, we are not tapping into those parts of ourselves because we're not moving those muscles the same way as we would when we're taking a pole class, when we're just moving our bodies into circles and waves and really experiencing how that feels like to move this energy inside of your body. So pole dancing, especially when you're doing some freestyling around the pole, when we're coming into more of that sensual movement. And also if you're doing the aerial stuff as well, once you start to climb the pole, once you start to go upside down and to do more tricks, this is where fear can often happen, because now this is what my experience has been like with pole dancing is I've been scared of doing a lot of tricks. Your hands get clammy, especially if you're hanging upside down and you're just feeling yourself like, oh my God, am I gonna fall? Oh my God. So you're facing a lot of these fears. And the more that you keep doing it, the more of that fear that gets released. And the more that we can actually bring that outside of the studio walls as well. Not just moving in a linear way and doing tricks, but also adding in the circles, the waves, the movement that is freeing. Because the more we can actually start to move in different ways and really feel into how this feels in our body, the more we can start to release and unblock a lot of the energy that we might be holding or a lot of the tension that we're feeling. So I tend to hold my tension in my neck, in my shoulders, a little bit too in the front of the solar plexus. And I'm noticing that when I do these movements, sometimes shit comes up for me, and that's normal. That's okay. And this is a way to express, and this is a way to release heavy lifting or strength training. We're not just going to the gym to punish ourselves because we oh, I need to do this. I need to put in all these reps and all these, these sets. But you're actually noticing how your body feels afterwards and during. And sometimes too, yeah, the workouts are hard, or they can be. But just notice that feeling of wow, I feel really strong. Coming back from Costa Rica, we had to, on our flight back, we had to go outside of the airport to walk onto the airplane. And the kids were just not having it. The flight was delayed by a couple hours. They were getting antsy and they were getting just ready to be on the plane. I was carrying both of the kids and my backpack, and I was like, let's go, we're walking. And it was kind of far to get to, on the tarmac to get to the plane. And I was like, oh, these are the moments I trained for. That's kind of what I told myself. And I felt good. I was like, wow, I actually feel strong. I feel like there's no problem carrying both of my kids right now. They're 40 pounds and probably 40 pounds each, honestly. And my bag was also probably around there too. So, and going up the stairs, getting up onto the plane, I was like, oh, that felt good. And putting them down, whatever. But what I'm saying is that nourishing your body with physical activity is so, so important. And not just for joint health, for bone density health, and all of the other stuff. You can Google all of that. It's also for the pleasure for the endorphins release. And it's also a great way to just move your body. Eating in a way that supports your nourishment, supports your body. This is where you get to give it the fuel, the vitamins, the minerals, the proteins, everything it needs to keep evolving, to keep moving through life instead of depleting our energy. Sometimes you'll feel some gastrointestinal stuff going on after you eat some not so good foods for you. So noticing the cues after whatever you're eating. So let's say you go and eat a giant burger and a poutine. well, you're probably not going to feel as good as if you had a really healthy salad with protein of your choice, some rice or something, and some other veggies. So, really noticing what feels good for you after you ingest it. And this could be immediately after and a few hours later, because sometimes I'll eat something. Like, actually, yesterday I had a slice of pizza. And I was like, wow, this morning I woke up and I was like, oh, my stomach is still feeling bloated and like just there's like stuckness there. It just feels irritated. But before that, if I would eat something else that was delicious and that I really enjoyed, that was nourishing for me, then I would feel great and I would feel more energized. Another one is being mindful of what you consume. So this could be on the internet, on, social media, everything that you're watching, or even Netflix, reading, like whatever it is, everything that you consume will have an impact on your life. So if you are always watching drama, reality shows, then you will probably have a lot more of drama in your life versus if you're watching something that is uplifting you and empowers you, then that's going to change your view on yourself. So just keeping in mind, what are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you seeing on the outside world that you can bring it in? And yes, you can control this. I've stopped watching a lot of these shows. Sometimes I'll still watch it, I'll watch my Love is Blind or whatnot. But a lot of the other shows, I was like, I just can't watch this anymore. I don't care enough about their drama and their lives to actually be consumed by it. And even the conversations that you might have with other friends, if you have a friend or family who's always dumping stuff on you and you're just there like, oh yeah, how could they have done that? Like keeping them in that victim mode and you being like, oh, how could he have said that? Or why would she have done that? Or, this is also feeding more negativity in your world, in your life. And so can we notice these things that in our lives that we want to change? And this is also a personal boundary that we can set with ourselves where I no longer choose to consume this content, or I no longer choose to hear these conversations because it's just too draining for me. I no longer choose to read the news or watch the news because, oh my God, that's a whole other thing, and I won't go there today. But I actually don't watch the news, and some people will argue it's better to not keep your head in the sand and to learn what's going on in the world and around you, but the news is said in a way to be able to click on it. Like it wants to suck you into it. And it's always negative and it's never something that's uplifting or positive. So I just said, fuck that. I'm not even interested. I'll hear about it through people talking. I know what's going on in the world because everybody's talking about it. Anyways, nourishing your body feels like letting yourself receive and be in that receive mode. So this is a hard one for women to do, especially because we're so used to giving. We're so used to taking care of others. We're so used to just doing. And when it comes time to receiving, we almost feel like we're guilty because we're not giving back. So if somebody's like, hey, I got you a ticket to go see your favorite band, do you want to come? And you're like, oh my God, I'd love to, but I didn't give you anything back. It's one of these things that we have to understand that we are also deserving of receiving, of being in the opposite of giving, because put yourself in that role of whenever you are giving to somebody else, they are fully just taking it, fully just receiving. And when we can actually swap it, just know how good it feels. And the example I'm thinking of is when you're taking care of a kid. You're feeding them, you're bathing them, you're doing all of the things to take care of your child. And your child is in full receive mode because they are not doing anything back for you. And when they're small, anyways. My kids are still young. So I don't know about when they're older. I'm not there yet. But this is them really just taking it in. Are they appreciative of that? Probably not. For them, it's the norm. But how can we be in that position and allow ourselves permission to take, to receive, without feeling guilty about it? So this is another exercise that you could practice on your own of just, again, sitting with yourself, closing your eyes, and just being like, how does it feel to just receive something? And then you can move into your desires. How does it feel to actually receive this desire and moving from that energy? Number 3, expression. This is a big one because this can sometimes be really hard for a lot of women to express themselves. So this can be expressing through body, through voice, through movement, through dance, through art. Expressing ourselves comes with a lot of fear of being judged, of fear of being shamed and exiled. Because the more we can be ourselves, the more we are vulnerable and the more we are seen. This looks like moving freely and dancing freely without that fear of judgment, with just allowing yourself to be fully in the body, fully in that flow state, and moving without needing to look good, without needing to perform for anybody else. This is just how can we actually just move in our bodies that feel good. And this is letting yourself be messy, be playful, get curious, feel into that cringe, feel into that ugliness of the movement where you can just be wild. We're coming back to the primal. We're coming back to that raw energy. Another one is using our voice when we're speaking up. When somebody has hurt us, we need to talk to them and be like, hey, that wasn't okay. I need to talk to this person, but I'm not going to stir some shit. I want to keep it cool between, this relationship. So I'm not going to say anything. This is you swallowing these emotions and suppressing it. So these emotions need to come out because they are going to manifest in other ways. It can manifest in physical symptoms. It can manifest in illness, in chronic shit. It can manifest in autoimmune diseases the more and more we do it. And that's a really strong belief of mine, is that this stuff needs to come out. This needs to be moved and it needs to be expressed. So whether that's through voice, through sound, so just even making sound with your voice, through movement, through music and art and all of these things, this needs to come out. And the more we use our voice, the more we feel like we're being seen. And what we say, we can't take back. So a lot of this podcast was me using my voice for the first time. I've emceed showcases before. At the beginning, these were not very good. And then I got more practice and it felt a little bit more comfortable. But this podcast is really shining the light on me using my voice and stepping into this power. So my first episode is all about I was afraid of using my voice, and so I started this podcast. So have a listen if you haven't listened to it yet. But this is letting your emotions move through you and exploring sensuality through dance, through creativity, through playfulness, and through curiosity, and expressing what you actually feel. So if you're feeling really angry, you can really come in and clench and tighten and then open or work with that contraction and release. Or if you're feeling sad, how does it feel to actually move from that place? Where are we feeling this? A lot of times when I'm sad, I feel a tight ball in my throat, or if there's fear, I feel this like just the kind of contraction in my body. So, how can we move with that and explore those parts of ourselves through breath, through sound, movement, and touch? Because those are the four pillars of embodiment. And another about expression, it could also be just how you dress, how the clothes that you choose to wear, the way that you do your hair, the way that you use your accessories, like whatever you want to put on. This is an expression of how you're feeling that day and how you want people to see you. If you're always wearing baggy clothes and baggy pants and like your hair's always up in a messy bun and you're kind of walking forward in a hunched over posture, well, that's a way that you are expressing your body, and you're carrying this posture throughout the world. And what you might notice is that you're living probably in a lot of tension and in a lot of contraction, whether versus if you are maybe showing a little bit more skin, your hair is down, you're just feeling really good about your body in that moment, in that day, whatever. Then you might be feeling into a little bit more expansion and openness. And we'll also notice how your posture wants to express your body. This is a really good telltale sign. If you watch body language from anybody around you, you can notice like, oh, you can actually feel what they're feeling through their posture, through their body language. So this is a great way to express yourself. And, you can try to fake it until you make it. So this meaning you dress for what you want to be instead of dressing for how you feel. And sometimes that works. It can be a great distraction to just kind of pull you out and just being like, okay, I need to, get myself out of victim mode and fucking go. I've found that sometimes that just helps, and it changes things where you're not just always stuck in that position where we're actually trying to move ourselves into a different body posture. Number 4, having a strong support system. So Embody Pole has women who want to grow alongside each other, who support each other through every aspect of their life. We are in a space where we are being seen, where we are being witnessed for who we are, what we're doing, how we're moving. And this is where we can actually start to connect a little bit more with one another, because we can relate to each other and be like, wow, I'm not alone in this. Somebody else has been going through the same or similar journey to me. Oh, wow, it's so nice to hear women speak from all walks of life, what their journey has been. And now we're all in the same room sharing this unique connection together. This helps us to boost ourselves a little bit more and to uplift ourselves, because we are here to be rising together, to be uplifting each other instead of tearing each other down. So being in spaces where it feels safe to open up, where it feels like you can share with all of the women around you. If you have some close friends or family that you can be that anchor for them and they are that to you, this is especially important because we are building this connection. They are also supporting you on this journey of whatever you desire to do, whatever you desire to be. And you're moving through life with this person and growing and evolving with this person. And same thing with having a partner in that way. Like my husband is super supportive of everything that I do. And, we don't have a perfect relationship. We sometimes want to tear each other's heads off because we're so annoyed with each other. But in the grand scheme of things, he's my biggest supporter. He's always been there for me through thick and thin and has been my rock. And that's what's also helped me to be able to do this, to embody my wild, because without these connections, without this community, I wouldn't have been able to do this alone. And it's not just important to have those personal connections, but also professional ones. So somebody who's a coach to you, somebody, maybe your therapist is there for you, because instead of dumping all of the stuff that's going wrong in your life onto your friends, this can sometimes create more distance and more tension between you and your friend. But you can dump this on a therapist, and that's their job. They need to hold a space for you. And so by doing this, then we actually are able to create more space and more connection with our close friends, with our partners, with our people that support us in our lives. Number 5, this is where most people get stuck. This is execution, taking action. So whatever you've set for yourself, whatever desire you have, whatever you're like, okay, I'm nourishing my body. I feel great. I feel turned on. I have this support system that's cheering me on. I feel like I can fully express myself through my voice, through about this thing that I want to do. Now, the last step is to actually just fucking do it. So, how does it feel for you when you get there to actually just do the thing that you've been talking about for so long, wanting to just take action on? So, this is a lot of times where our bodies want to just and just be like, okay, never mind. I just want to think about it. I didn't want to actually do it. When I was starting this podcast, I recorded the first episode. I edited all the whole thing. And then when it came time to hit publish, that's when a lot of the feelings and the emotions came, because I was like, oh my God, like doing the thing and like recording the episode still was pushing an edge, but it wasn't as big as hitting publish, because that meant that the whole world is there to witness me in my full, here I am. I had been talking about starting this with someone and then decided to just do it solo, because I was like, you know what? I'm really feeling this fire and I want to do this. I'm feeling this turn on. But this is taking action before you feel ready. And because you're never going to feel ready. What does ready actually mean? When I feel like I don't have fear anymore, I'm going to feel ready. Like what is in the way of feeling ready? And these are the questions that you need to ask yourself. I want to do this. I'm going to do it. If I don't feel ready, then what is in the way of me doing this? Is it just emotional, or is it something bigger? And if it's just emotional, well, there's a way you can express that. This is also building self-trust, because when you do the thing, the more you execute, and I'm not saying that you need to do all the time, but you got to live and embody what you say and mean. So embodying your wild is all of these things together for me, but I'm also doing the things. I'm pushing myself past my edges, past my limits, past that fear. I opened my own studio. I've done a lot of these other things that I am pretty proud of myself for achieving, but it's not just about achievements. It's also, how does it actually feel when you are doing the thing? Is it something that you desire, or is it, again, just checking off that box for a goal that you had? So really recognizing what the underlying desire is from that. How can we nourish ourselves through it? How can we support ourselves with amazing people who are there for us? How can we express ourselves? And then how can I just start doing it? And then it's doing it over and over and over again until it feels comfortable. So an example for me would be when I started posting talking reels on Instagram, even talking in the camera. The first time I did that, I think I probably did like at least 20 takes. I didn't say the right word. This is just bad. What are people going to think of me? What are all of these things came into my head? I had to let go of that perfectionism and just be like, is this good enough? Does this get like a B plus? I don't have to go for the A. I just have to get the B plus. Right? So I just started doing it. Now I'm feeling a lot more comfortable to actually speak on camera, to even talk about embodying your wild in front of the camera. I remember the first time I performed violin, I was 6 years old, and I did a recital, and I was so nervous. I was terrified. I had to play, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star or something like that. Being on stage with the lights on and everybody just watching me. I'm like this tiny little girl with a violin. They don't care. They're just like, "Oh, wow, so cute." But inside of me, I was like, I'm terrified. I'm, putting myself out there. And then the more and more I did it, the more comfortable it became. So I just got to do the thing. Move past the fears, move past all of these insecurities, because your wild isn't unlocked through thinking. It's unlocked through doing and being and feeling. If you felt just a little shimmer through your body, little excitement, a little tingling, send this episode to someone else who needs to feel this too. Embody Your Wild Women's Retreat, happening June 5th to 7th. This is a 3-day weekend at a luxury chalet in the wild, in the forest. This is where you get to really tap into the aliveness. We get to go deeper than what we do in classes, and we get to feel into that part of ourselves that is juicy. We get to tap into that erotic power. We get to connect to ourselves, to our bodies as authority. And we have a private chef. We end the whole weekend with a sensual photo shoot. So this is professional quality photos. You get a swag bag with all sorts of goodies in it. And there's so much more at this retreat. So there are 2 women who have said yes so far to this forest witch vibes, hot girl healing weekend. And there are 6 spots left. So the invitation is for you to join us at Embody Your Wild, June 5th to 7th. Own your energy and subscribe to my channel